When you're looking for more and there's no place to go, it's a sequels only bonus show. It's not about sequels this time, you know, it's a sequels only bonus show. Doug and his pals, well, they know what to do, talking about movies without a part two. Looking for more and there's no place to go, it's a sequels only bonus show. Talking to stars with Doug Ditsold, it's a sequels only bonus show. Sequels only bonus show.
Hey there, Doug here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Happy Monday. This week's bonus interview is with adult film star and CEO of her own company, Dee Siren. Dee was really great to talk to. We talked about how she was an educator and then transitioned into the adult film world. And she took it by storm within a year because her and her husband, the ideas they had, the way they shot, she was getting interviewed by Hustler. And she's really been her own content creator since. Her husband and her write everything. He directs and films. So it's kind of like the perfect union. And we talked about really the ins and outs. So the fact that she's always done this, it's really cool to hear about the behind the scenes, shot locations and how she's able to, figure out what to do and how to change it up. And it was great. Her mom called during because her mom just learned FaceTime. So I'm going to leave that part in because I think it's so cute because her mom's 72 and she learned. But Dee was great. I had a great chat with her and you're going to love her. So I'm going to quit blabbering. And without further ado, Dee Siren.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Pretty good. I just realized I haven't done one of these in a few weeks. And like the quarantine hair is like finally it's there. I'm looking like Daniel Stern now from Home Alone, which isn't a bad thing because I think he's from Jersey.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, this is awesome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. So how's quarantining? I know it's getting a little bit different than it was 6 months ago, but
it's not too bad here. I'm in Texas, so
oh, sweet.
It's Trump land.
Yeah. But at least right now, especially with the way technology is nowadays for like what you do in your industry, like maybe 15 years ago, probably even 10 years ago, it'd be so different for you, but at least you're still able to, work and produce and
for sure. Like, I mean, for us actually, like the beginning of this whole quarantine was like great. I mean, like, I hate to say that, but like, I mean, everybody's at home and, what else is there to do other than, watch porn. So for us, it was great because everybody was online and we made more money. So now it's then it kind of went like that, when everybody went back to work, now it's kind of going back up again. And so, I mean, it's always kind of like a roller coaster anyway, when it comes to, sales and that type of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Have you shot anything yet? Cause I know you have your own studio, but have you shot with any companies since everything?
I don't really shoot with other companies. I mainly shoot my own content.
That's smart.
So, and that's what I've always done. I've shot with other companies mainly just as a marketing reason, to get my name out there, to do some kind of crazy stuff to, make myself known. But I haven't actually shot with other companies in like 6 years. So.
Oh, wow. Well, that's smart because then you own your own content. You get to decide how everything's done, the schedule. So that's smart on your part.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think I have like 400 movies that are mine. So, now that it's all that way, my website's still like my major moneymaker. Now there's like OnlyFans and all these other websites like ManyVids and everything else popping up that, you can put all your content on. So there's just lots of different revenue streams and different places to sell it. So,
that's good.
It's good.
Oh yeah. So what I like to do with these is find out, where people grow up and like how they got to, where they are now. Cause everybody has a story. I interview mostly actors and folks in Hollywood. So it is still pretty cool to be able to, talk to different people because everybody has a story, which is really rad. So where did you grow up? Are you originally from Texas?
Yes, I actually live in the same place. I'm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still live in Houston. I live like 3 miles from where I grew up.
Oh,
So
that's pretty wild.
I,
Because you have no accent. Is there no accent in Houston, or did you travel a lot afterwards?
um, no, I mean Houston's kind of a melting pot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
My family is from East Texas, so they have a lot of an accent. My dad has a lot of an accent. When I get around them, I get more of an accent. It kind of comes and goes. I can
Yeah.
do the whole accent if I want to, but like I lived up in New Hampshire after high school for a while.
Oh, that's cool. What brought you up there?
My best friend lives there, so like
Oh,
she was
cool.
here in Houston, and then she would go there every summer, and then she ended up moving up there. So like I've traveled a lot. I go to LA a lot. So I think it's just from going everywhere, I don't really, and I've just been around everyone from everywhere. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just, it's not something I pick up much of an accent. I can do a lot of accents, but yeah, that's just, I don't know, acting. But
So did you do acting like before you got into teaching? Did you do acting at all in school?
in school. Yeah. Just
Really?
in the thing is I had like total stage fright, lots of anxiety.
Wow.
That's just kind of like my personality. I was just really, I don't know. And when I was younger, I had a lot more anxiety than I do now. That's kind of changed, but yeah, I mean, it was something that like when I got on stage, I would shake and my voice would shake. So it was something that like I get up there and, start freaking out. And so I'd know my lines, I know everything. I do great in class, but then I get in front of an audience and freak out. So it's just one of those things that's like, okay, I can't do this. But I was never in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So I never even like considered it. It wasn't something like my family like didn't really have any expectations for me. so they were all educators, and it was like, okay, just go into teaching. So that's what I did. And then teaching kind of taught me how to talk in front of a lot of people.
That's true. My wife's a teacher, so I get it. She can talk in front of like, when it comes to all that, like she did 7th grade. So like some of the toughest.
Yeah, mine were little. I taught little kids, but you deal with a lot of parents and you deal with a lot of people and a lot of committees I was on. So I learned to talk a lot better teaching. And then just really honestly, when I became a swinger and then a webcam model and all that, like really, I just learned about my exhibitionist side when I got into this industry and started, the whole sex part of it. I don't know. I was always a very sexual person.
Yeah.
So that part was easy. And it was like, oh, well, shoot, I really enjoy the whole performing part, along with it. So it just kind of was like a natural flow of things. So, yeah.
So what was the turning point? So like on there, it says, well, the call sheet that Tanya sent me, it says 2010. What happened that year that changed everything?
Well, I was already a swinger with my husband. And so we kind of did this on the weekend as just a fun thing we did. And we hosted a lot of parties at swinger clubs. And we kind of were the couple that like, posting everything and got real popular there. And he was the guy with the camera. So it was kind of, always took pictures, always took videos, but it was something we just shared between other couples and ourselves. Yeah. And then I had a friend who did webcam. So she actually introduced me to that. And that was before webcam was anything. So it was back in like 2009 is when I started that. Did that for about 6 months. And then I was, told, hey, you should give porn a try. Tried that and just kind of never looked back. I mean, it was a decision, one of those things where it's like, okay, if I do this, I have children and I have to make a choice and otherwise go. And, unfortunately, this industry is really stigmatized. And
I know, it's terrible.
Everybody thinks you're, just weird if you do it. And I'm like, well, not really. We're just performance artists. And, it's definitely performing and it's definitely art. And I mean, it's definitely a job.
Oh yeah. There's people that have jobs that make like billions of dollars that are heads of companies that do terrible things.
Oh, I know.
But like, like I talked to like Brittany and Jillian and like a few others. And it's just like, I don't know. I think it's so the stigma of it. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I just don't get it.
No, it's very odd. Like I just talked to someone else about it and I don't get that why violence and everything else is just so like sensationalized, and it's great and all, but sex is just like, taboo. Don't talk about sex, even though it's so basic. Like, it's such a basic thing for humans.
Oh, I know. Well, that's how we're here.
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, why do we exist? And and it's just so basic, just under your own sexuality and being confident in yourself and feeling good about yourself and
Oh yeah,
owning yourself and being happy with your body. And I mean, I think if everyone just accepted who they were and felt comfortable with themselves, then we would all be much happier, and the world would be a happier place. But maybe that's the problem. Maybe if society allowed us to be all sexually happy, then there'd be an uprising or something.
Yeah, right. So did Houston have like a scene for when somebody said, hey, you should give porn a try? Was that in the Houston area, or did you go out to LA?
Yeah. Well, actually, I got hired by Nadia Alicia. She was in Florida, and she worked for a company called Sticky Videos. They made their own content as well.
Okay.
So she hired me for a video called Huge Holes 15. So it was about toys. It was basically just about big toys. And at the time, like I said, I was a webcam model, so I used toys. And she actually, her husband hired me because he saw a picture of a big curling iron. And and I was like, okay, then whatever. So it was just not on or anything. It was just a stupid curling iron. But so I got hired for that. And that was fun. And she was great. And we became really good friends and still are friends. And she's retired, but we're still good friends. She was kind of like my mentor. And from there, I started my own website, and my husband got into it, and we built our own website, and really just kind of picked up my own niche of, what did I like to do? And, and pretty much we were already, like I said, we were already swingers. We were already into the whole, he liked to watch. And so we like single guys to come, threesomes and that type of thing. And so we kind of just started filming what we did anyway. We just did it, like, I think my first series was like lunchtime fucks or something.
Yeah.
So it was like, basically I would meet him for lunch, and we recorded us, together at lunch, and it would just be out in the car or out, at a park or, that kind of thing. And it was just for fun, and we would just be with each other. And then it was like, okay, invite some guy to meet up with us.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into more and more and more. And along the way, we just, built more and more content and had a good time and invited other people. And finally, we just started our own website. And from there, just built the whole studio over the years. I did finally go out to LA. I went out. Hustler invited me to do an interview with their magazine. So I went there to do that.
So that's cool. You were getting the attention of Hustler. That's pretty, and that's pretty quick, that's awesome.
It was within that same year. Yeah. And that was all through social media, through Twitter, and, social media is a great thing. It can be crazy and wild.
No, but it does help. No, you're right. Especially back then. I know people were on it, but still, even then, to get big that quick, that Hustler, like one of the biggest interviews you, that's really cool. Cause you guys are doing something that I think is like something that is, obviously what you're doing was real, but like one of the most popular kind of things nowadays. It's not the way it was like when I used to take my dad's like, VHSs out of his top drawer. Me and my buddies would be like, oh, what is this? It's not the way it is that now. It's like what you mentioned, like the voyeur, like you want to feel like you're watching, and that's what's popular now. And you were like way ahead of the game, 10 years ago doing something like that.
Right. And that was, that's the thing, is that it was like, okay, it's our normal, regular, everyday life. And this is what we do. And the fact that it was real, I've shot with my fans forever. They're not, I mean, I do shoot with pros now, and I've shot with them for a while, but pretty much most people, they're real people who, are here in Houston, and they fill up my form, and, they come and shoot with me. I mean, it's always been kind of a real thing, and I don't really even know any of them. I mean, they have to fill out paperwork because that's required by law. And they fill out the form and everything. But honestly, like, unless you've spent time and talked to me, and then I pretty much don't remember you. I probably remember your penis more than I remember you. So it's like, okay, let me see, and then I'll be like, okay, no, I remember. one. You know,
Oh, I remember you.
Oh yeah, I remember him. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. But I mean, it depends on the film I've made. You know, I mean, of course, if it's something like I've made actual movie, you know, parodies types of films.
Oh
and that
yeah.
kind of thing. But so Roots, which was a parody, I was the mistress of the plantation. That was very controversial.
I bet.
You know, that was yeah. But it was not. It was kind of the flip flop kind of thing because it was about like, well, I was the mistress of the plantation who had sex with all the slaves.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the flip on the master. Like we locked him in the barn.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Had a gangbang on the big thing with myself and like the daughters and the slaves and everybody in a big thing. So, and he had to watch. So it was kind of like the cucking of him, of the master, where he had to sit back. So, I mean, honestly, like that's probably my most popular
Oh yeah.
movie I've ever made because like everybody loves it and always says, "Oh, I know you from that. I know you from that." So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's strange enough. Like I never even considered it at the time. Like, oh, this is going to be controversial, and then it was like every interview under the sun that's so controversial, and I was like, well, I just thought it was fun, and I was at some crazy like mansion in Florida and like 100-degree heat and with racehorses and having sex in a barn. So yeah, I mean, I really didn't even think about the fact that
oh my god, that's hilarious.
you know,
So do you like the
controversial.
acting portion of it? So like when you're in like, so I know you, I think you were in like a Naughty America one, and do you like the acting part of it? I know you like being, you know, doing all of it, but do you like being directed by someone else too?
Yeah, I mean, well, my husband always is the director, so
cool.
Like I'm used to him like directing and telling, you know, me where to go, that kind of thing. So I don't mind that. We come up with scripts together. We come up with ideas together for the most part. Kind of, you know, collaborating on that type of thing. When it comes to other people and their ideas, like, yeah, totally. I'm down for pretty much anything. I'm pretty good at ad-libbing. So, I mean, pretty much everyone is. And, you know, honestly, in my opinion, like porn actresses are pretty much really good actresses.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
On like a character that is like not even us in real life. And we live that in real life. So like Dee is not even me. So, you know, it's like I live this whole life that's not even me. So yeah, I mean, it's like becoming somebody that you're not. And yeah, so alter ego, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I enjoy it. It's not something I always have to do. I don't mind doing, you know, the amateur stuff, but it's a challenge and it's fun to do something different, you know, when I get to do more lines and that type of thing. But
yeah.
I have an opportunity to do a part in an independent film, which is just a tiny part, but it's like I think I'm a doctor or something for some kind of little independent film. So I get to do that in the next week or so. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like acting. So it's just fun. I mean, I like to do anything that's different. I mean, any opportunity, I'll try it. So
yeah, and I think, to be honest, because you know, it's different type of acting what you do. So I think if you could do that in front of people, you can do that. Like I talked to, no, that's fine. So like I talked to Brittany Amber was in like a couple mainstream things, and Jillian Jansen. But no, I think you look at a lot of people when you see them cross over, like Sasha Grey.
Right.
That'd be really cool if you're able to do something like that.
Right. I would love to do that. I mean, I'm all down for like pretty much anything, especially, I mean, I love acting. I love, you know, like I said, I love voices. I kind of do that anyway, you know, just for fun and acting silly. And, you know, my kids and I kind of end up British or Indian or something.
Oh, yeah.
I end up in a different voice on a daily basis. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things I just do on a normal basis anyway. So yeah, for sure. Like I'm totally into it. I don't do so much the cosplay. I don't do all the dress up stuff just because of the time factor. I know most of them, like I know Brittany's way into, oh my gosh, I get another phone call. This is my mother calling me. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can talk to your mom if she needs to call.
Okay. She like 73. And I'm like, I called her before I called you. And she like won't stop calling me now.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, she's just learned how to do FaceTime.
oh,
She's insisted on like she'll keep calling.
that's great. That's amazing. That's like my mom on Facebook. She always like is sharing everything she sees. And I'm like, all right, mom, you don't have to do that.
Yeah. She just now learned to like use FaceTime, and she's like, I have to talk to you every night on FaceTime. Well, she's in bed.
That's cute. But no, I think, and you're in a great area for it because Houston's like one of the top film schools. So I'm sure if you did like an independent thing like that, obviously you have your own thing going on. So you're busy of family and owning your own, doing your own thing. But no, that'd be cool to be able to just act in like different types of roles. Like you already kind of do that, but like in the mainstream or like film like that. So that'd be good.
Like I've considered, like, I know I get little like posts and that type of thing of things available in the area. So I've considered doing it. It's just the time, and it just depends on who hits me up. Like if they're interested, then I'll do it. And otherwise, whatever comes available, I'll do it. So we'll see.
That's cool. So one thing I thought that was really cool is obviously the fact that you own your own studio, but so you have you do a podcast with you and your husband, and it's kind of talks about what you guys do.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's Siren Sexy Secrets, and we talk about everything. Well, I'm a certified sex educator.
I was going to get to that next. So how did that come about?
Well, I'm like I said, I am an educator. I have a degree in psychology.
Oh yeah,
and
that's true.
Technology. So I have both those degrees. I have a degree in certification in education. And then I got certified in sex education during quarantine. Like I kind of went crazy during quarantine, and my way of dealing with it is just to kind of put tons on my plate.
Oh, I know. I hear you.
I really can't handle like downtime. Then I let like my brain kind of goes a little crazy and takes over, and my anxiety and like depression kind of issues will take a hold of me if I give myself any like leeway. So my way of dealing with any of that is just to kind of put more and more projects on my plate.
I hear you. I'm the same way. No, that's true.
Yeah. So I got certified as a sex educator. I started my own podcast. I started my new intimacy and relationship coaching. I wrote like, I don't know, 12 articles. I've written a blog. Like I never stop working. I pretty much work all day long. And then I'm homeschooling my child as well.
So, how's that going?
It's awesome. I love it, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's something, I don't know. I feel like the public school education, I was a public school teacher, but it's just not up to par. And definitely right now, like it's, they just don't know what they're doing. So we put them in an online school. That's homeschooling. And so I grade his work partially, like it's just on things that would be subjective, like to a teacher. And he doesn't always get like full credit. It just depends on what he does. Like most of the time, yes, because he's a really good student. But, I'm like, well, there are times where mom doesn't always give him full credit because it just depends. I'm a real teacher. So I'm like, I'm not going to make you like have 100 on everything. But yeah, most of it is online where it like grades itself. So I can't be that partial to it. So, but yeah, I love homeschooling. It's fun. Actually, we spend like all morning, every morning from like 8 a.m. to like 12:30, we're homeschooling.
Nice.
And then, it's a great routine. I'm very big on routine. So I wake up every morning, I get up and have coffee and I meditate and I, read books. I have about 4 books I'm reading at one time. And and then I sit by the pool and hang out with my dogs and then I start my morning. So yeah, I'm real good about routine in the morning, and then we homeschool, and then I start working at about 1. So yeah.
You guys have a studio on the property, or is it somewhere else?
No, it's off. Yeah.
Oh,
we
nice.
have a studio somewhere else.
Oh, so, sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't do anything around the house because
that's good.
There's children.
I don't know if you had like how big's your studio? Like how much space do you work with?
Well, we had a different studio. Now it's just more like a apartment type of studio, but because we don't really film there all that much. We kind of move around to film
Yeah.
because and use different locations just because it gets boring. Our previous studio was much bigger. It was like a 2-story type of home, but it just gets to the point after a year that you've kind of shot it out and you've done what you can do there. And unless you have like a big location type of studio that's like a warehouse where you can build sets and that type of thing. We've done that in the past as well, but those are kind of hard to come by, especially here in Houston.
Yeah.
And we're out in the suburbs, so it's like we don't want to drive for like an hour and a half to just get to work every day.
Yeah.
So, we'd rather just move around whenever.
No, that's a good idea. It's funny when you watch like one of the things, you're like, hey, I've seen that couch before. I've seen that house before. But no, that's a good idea that you do that. And that's so cool that you guys are able to do that. So that's awesome. Just the fact that you started your own company and you're your own boss. And that's really cool. Do you ever have any other like actresses work with you that you know?
Totally, yeah.
That's cool.
We just got back from Vegas, so we had a big content party there. And that was with a lot of like BBWs, so all that kind of community.
Yeah.
So it was Kendra Cox, Tiffany Starr, Lila Lovely. I'm trying to think of everyone. I don't know. There was so many people, but anyway, that's some of them. And then so we did that, and then so that'll all be coming out soon, and they all shot content like there. And then during this time, it's a little different than it used to be. Now it's like everybody has to get tested for COVID.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Hangs at the same place. And we all shoot on like one day and do as much as we can on a day.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of podcasts. Actually, I shot 2 scenes, but I also like did 7 interviews. So
cool.
It was like an entire day of sitting in a room, and I sat in my bat cave and doing podcasts for majority of the day. So it was like 7 hours of interviews. But yeah, it was great because I got tons of interviews with everybody, and so that'll all be on my podcast. And that's I'm doing like a little porn stars are people type of thing on there.
That's awesome. That's why I like doing these. Like when I first reached out to Tanya, because she was in this really B like horror movie. It was called like Evil Bong, like 666. It was like so bad. And we only cover movie sequels. Right. So I looked at this list of the worst movie sequels because we cover good ones too. Like I interview people that work on every one. So I reached out to her and she was like, I'm busy, but would you want to talk to Jillian? And from there, like just talking to like you said, like obviously porn stars are people, but it's really cool to hear the stories about how they got started and how you're a boss. You run your own thing, which is amazing.
And so many of us are.
Oh, I know.
Now, like we're all just small business owners. And we all like, I do everything. I literally do my taxes. I do my accounting. I do my books. I do everything. Like through TurboTax, I do my taxes. Like, I mean, I literally do everything. Nobody does anything for me. I don't have an assistant. I don't have a maid. I wish I had a maid. I don't know why I don't have a maid.
But then that would be something that you'd say when when you don't have anything to do, you'll be like, oh, I could be picking something up, you know?
I know. I'm like, exactly. That's the thing is that I'm like, I don't know. I don't really need anybody to be in here because I could do it myself. Like I'm so like particular about everything. And I told my son, I was like, I could get a maid. He's like, no, I don't want anybody coming in my room. I'm like, I know. Like I do have a lawn guy. I do have a pool guy. Like, okay, take to the outside, but the inside, I'm like, no, I'll scrub the tub. Like I'm down with doing it all myself. But I don't know. I'm just kind of weird. And
no, that's cool. You handle everything because
I have social anxiety. So
no, but the fact that you handle everything, that's better for you because I'm sure you've heard horror stories. I'm sure people in your industry, but you hear all these stories about actors and directors and athletes that have like buddies that were their money managers, and then they just like siphon the money out, and then it's like gone forever. So. No, that's cool.
Yeah, nobody messes with anything. Like I literally do everything myself. So, I mean, I know where every penny goes, and I know like every penny spent, and how to do everything. And I don't know. I'm very multifaceted person, so definitely have my Yeah. I kind of jack of all trades. So
That's good. That's how it works, you know?
yeah,
And
definitely.
it's cool that your husband does the directing and he's he works the camera.
Yeah, he's a photographer and
That's awesome.
Cameraman. So yeah,
Did he go to school for that or just over the years just getting better you doing it?
He's an IT guy, so he's the one that makes the websites.
Oh, so you're perfect. You got everything covered.
Yeah, so he's the one we do both. We do everything together. So yeah, it works really well.
So have you had anybody reach out to you for like your being a certified sex education and your website, thelovesiren.com? Have you been able to do any consultations or is that what you're doing with that?
Yeah, it's thelovesiren.com and it's a intimacy and relationship coaching website. I do have clients
Sweet.
Signed up. Basically what I do is I offer advice and coaching, life coaching basically. A lot of it has to do with really just owning your own sexuality and understanding yourself more than it has to do with me I do some couples, but it hasn't gotten as far as that. A lot of times it has to do with the individual and feeling comfortable within themselves and understanding, you know, why does jealousy happen? Why do I feel uncomfortable with this? Why do I not know how to talk to my partner? You know, why is the communication not there? You know, even to the point of, you know, I don't really last that long and why is that happening? Or you know, maybe my family has put a lot of shame on me and I don't really know how to deal with sex. Or, I mean, it can come down to like people from all over the world come to me. So you can I've have clients from, you know, the Middle East who come to me and they literally have never masturbated. So they don't even know what to do with that.
Oh,
and
wow.
So they're walking into basically an arranged marriage where they're expected to have sex with someone and they've never even touched themselves. So what does their body do? Well, it's going to go, woo, hello, I'm done. You know, the second you touch someone, well, of course it is. Like they're ashamed by it, but like what else is going to happen? Like, of course it's going to react that way. So it's literally just teaching them that for one thing, it's not bad. For another thing, they don't even know how to do it. So like, it's just self-pleasure and realizing, okay, let's do this and teach you how to do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, and be okay with it so that you can actually have fun with your spouse because they're not even enjoying anything and their spouse is not enjoying anything because they're too worried about like what they've been taught through their culture and their family that they're too ashamed to even do anything to themselves at all.
Yeah. It's sad. But I know that's how the cultures are, but exactly. I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. You know, it's interesting to find out like different cultures and things that you just don't think about when you're here in America and you're not exposed to other cultures and realizing that, you know, there's so much shame around sex and so in your own sexuality and just not being able to accept yourself for who you are. And that's what I kind of really want is for mainstream to understand that, you know, there's just so much that society has put on us as people and sex is just so basic that like, why are we doing this to each other? Why are we like putting so much shit on each other when it should just be so basic? And why are we like, okay, you can't watch sex. Well, why? What's wrong with it? What are we doing? Like, why? What's the problem? And why? And girls need to get the fuck over it. Like, I mean, when it comes down to like, what's the problem? Like, why aren't you enjoying it with your partner? Like, watch it with them. And why are you so scared of it? Like, what's the problem? Find something you enjoy and tell your partner, hey, watch it with me. You know, this is fun for me to watch and enjoy it. Like, I honestly like gay porn, like, to be honest, because I like penises. So like, I enjoy the penises. Like, they have nice penises and the guys are hot. Like, to be honest, you know, I want to watch that. So I tell my husband, that's what I like to watch, you know? So, I mean, he's not all into watching it, but I am. So what's the problem, you know? So, you know, it's like, find what you like to watch and watch it, but I'm not going to tell him not to watch something if I like something else, you know? And it's like, each of us, you may like horror shows and I don't, and I like romantic comedy, you know, what's the problem? So it's like, don't be afraid of toys. Like, I mean, to be honest, as a woman, like I didn't even have sex toys until I was like 30. And then I became a porn star when I was in my 30s. So it was like, give me some sex toys. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
So it's like just not being taught sex education in the first place has just really just hindered us as people.
Yeah.
And schools can't teach sex education. They're just so limited. And they really shouldn't. Teachers shouldn't be the one teaching your kids about
No.
I mean, I shouldn't, as a teacher, being like, okay, 6-year-olds, let's learn about sex, or 10-year-olds, or 12-year-olds, or 15-year-olds. Why am I the one who's required to teach it? And being awkward and weird with your kid. It's really the parents, but the parents haven't even been taught about it. So the parents have no idea how to talk to their kid. I mean, until I got into this industry, I wouldn't have known how to talk to my kid, but luckily I did. So like us as porn stars, we're great about talking to our kids about sex. We're very open with our children, and not open to the point where we're ridiculous and stupid. We actually teach them not to look at porn. Because we don't want them to find our porn, for one thing. So we're like, hey, don't do that. And our kids are probably the best about not finding it, because we're like, you don't want to find your mom, you don't want to find dad. And they're like, oh yeah, don't know, ew, gross. Or no, we don't want to do that. So yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, but you need to talk to your kids at 10 when you hand them a phone and say, here's your phone.
Oh, I know.
You know what sex is by that point, because they're going to find it. And otherwise their friends are going to show them. And people just don't even talk to their kids at all until they're 16. And they go, hey, have you had sex yet? I mean, and they probably have. I know personally, my mom didn't talk to me at all. I heard my mom talk to my brother about about sex, the talk. And it was just, okay, I sat in the corner and nobody talked to me. And then I was having sex. And by the time I was 18, she found a condom in the toilet. And I'd been having sex since I was 15. So, okay, 3 years later, luckily, nothing happened. So I was just lucky.
No, it is funny that I think you're right when it comes to like the parents, because I don't think my parents ever did, but I think it's like I think they don't know. They don't know how to do it. So there has to be a point at where it starts, and then it can go, like you said, for generations, if it's like more open to talk about it. But when people, like, such a popular industry and a form of entertainment, like what you do, and it's a shame that people just don't look at it that way, because there's people that, like yourself and other people in the industry, that are more popular than some actors that are on TV and in shows. And it just, I don't understand. Hopefully things will change, but there's like one side of the aisle that just doesn't.
Sadly, they just really connect our industry with crime.
I don't understand why, but
I don't know why we're connected to trafficking. Like, they always connect us to trafficking. And sadly, we're the opposite of trafficking. Like, we're literally like, hello, we're out here. We sign paperwork.
Testing all the time. Yeah.
Every 14 days. We're so like positive about STD testing. We make sure everybody's tested. We're so open about HIV. We make sure, everybody talks about it. Everybody takes what they need to take. Even in the gay community where we have, testing there, everyone's really on PrEP and things like that. Everybody's real careful. Yeah. And we're extremely careful with each other. And we stick with our group because we don't want to, that's our work. I mean, this is our livelihood. If somebody gets sick, then we're screwed. So, it's one of those things where it's like, why are we being stigmatized? Why is our whole, like, an entire entertainment industry? That's like saying, like, okay, Hollywood, I mean, here, let's just go stigmatize you and stick you with a crime because, well, I mean, I guess they do with that too, but
a little bit.
I mean, they kind of do, but still, I mean, it's like, here, we're going to stick you with trafficking. Well, no, like, we're literally, especially porn. Like, porn is like, we're out here in the open showing you who we are. Like, our faces, you see everything about us. The people who are trafficking are way behind the scenes. They're not out here for you to know who they are. They're hiding. And why would you stick us with that? So I don't know. It's just shitty.
No,
and
I know.
it really sucks because we're really discriminated against on things like Instagram, and there's, you know, a class action lawsuit in our union with it.
Oh,
So
good. Oh, you guys have a union? That's amazing.
yeah, we do. It's
That's
the
awesome.
Adult Performers Actors Guild. So
Oh, that's cool. Here's a question I think I asked Jillian, but I forgot to ask Alexis and Brittany. But I think it's always fascinating because what you do, you're you know, just like an actor, you're on TV, film, on the internet. When was the first time you got recognized, like in public?
first time.
Or do you
That's
remember what it was like knowing somebody? Like that's like if somebody was like saw me at like the shop right by me in Jersey and they were like, "Oh, dude, I saw your interview." I'd be like, "Whoa, man, this is
Well,
getting
I mean, I guess
serious."
the first time, I guess the more surreal time would have been like I was at the swinger club where we always went like every weekend, and we'd
Yeah.
host parties there for so long. And then I went by my normal name, and then other people, fans ended up being there with like DVDs and stuff, and they were calling me Dee. And then my regular friends were like, what? Like, like, who's that? Like, not really who's that, because they kind of called me that too, because my real name starts with a D.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was, and my real name is like kind of difficult to pronounce. So it was kind of like, oh, that's you. But they were kind of like, whoa, like, that's kind of weird, you know? And for me, it was a little surreal because it was kind of a mixture between my real friends and fans. And at the time, I was just so new to it all that it was just kind of a strange combination. Other than that, most of the time I get recognized, like here in Houston, people just tap me on the shoulder, or they'll say, "Oh, I love your work," because it'll be like in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Or they literally just follow me around, where it's just following me and never saying anything, or they'll follow me in a car, or I've had a guy follow me out of Walgreens and then ask me to give him a blowjob in a car.
What?
Yeah, I mean, he was a cute guy. I was like, "What are you doing? Like really? Like, come on, dude. I know you can like." I mean, he was young too, but I was just like, hit me up the right way, not like this. This is like awkward. But but yeah, I mean, most of the time they're normal. That was kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, a guy asked me like if he could have my water at a convenience store. Like, they're just awkward. Like,
Yeah.
guys are weird. They say
No,
weird
they
stuff.
are.
Mhm.
And I love your name. I'm not going to ask you what your real name is, but it's really cool because Sirens of the Sea. And how'd you come up with that?
All of it's based off my real name.
Oh, it is? Oh, wow. Okay.
Google me, you'll find my real name. I mean, it's trademarked, but like my first name is a like a Greek mythological creature.
Really?
So that's where the siren part comes from.
Okay.
And then my middle name starts with a D, so that's where the D came from.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's really cool. But it's a
Yeah.
cool name. I like that.
Thank you.
So obviously you're always busy, and I know you said relaxing, reading a book, which is relaxing, and but what else? What do you do when you can like turn it off? What are your hobbies?
I don't have any.
No.
Honestly, like that's so funny because like I asked all these people like at this content party what their hobbies were. I asked that same question and they answered the same as I answer, which is
okay.
me. Because when we do this, I literally have my kid and I have this, and well, I guess my hobbies would be like this dog.
Nice.
I have 3 of those to take care of. I don't know. I put so much, like I write a lot and I read a lot, and that's probably my hobby. I do enjoy watching TV. Like I like movies and I like crime dramas. So, I mean, I guess that would be a hobby.
Yeah, no, that's honestly like when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I like to do this, that, and that. Like
Right.
now it's just like my wife, my daughter, school,
Yeah.
interviewing people and writing. So I get it. So I totally understand it. But I guess, yeah, movies. I love watching movies. Obviously, it's like.
I mean, I do. I like, yeah. I like crime drama. I like some horror, not too like crazy. I don't like slasher movies, but I do like
people love those. Twitter, like for us, when we do a horror movie, it's just like people watch those reviews more than anything. We just did Child's Play. That'll be out soon. The third one, yeesh.
I haven't watched that. I did
Ugh.
watch The Haunting of, what is it, Bly Manor.
Oh, you watched it already?
Yes, so good.
Sweet. I got to watch that. Did you watch The Babysitter on Netflix? You should watch that one.
The Babysitter? No, I haven't watched it.
There's two of them. It's like a really newer horror movie, but it's really fast paced and fun. It's not like a real horror. It's like that horror comedy. That girl, Samara Weaving, who's in like every big movie. She was one of the daughters of the new Bill and Ted.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that yet?
No.
Really cool.
I need to watch that too.
Yeah. I interviewed Death, William Sadler, which was like awesome before he went and filmed. But well, this has been awesome. So what I'll do is I'm going to put this out next month, but I'll put all your links in. So I know in the beginning, it's not like I said like, hey, this is Dee Siren. But what I do is I do an intro beforehand, like a little before and then after. But I'll put all your links in there. And it was great talking to you. I'm so happy we were able to connect.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Sweet. Well, thank you. And I think it's really cool. Like Tanya, I've said this to everybody I talk to, and I always say it to Tanya, but it's really cool. Obviously, you're your own, like you do everything. You're CEO of your own company. But having somebody like Tanya, it's really cool to have somebody that would, is in the industry and did it. I think that's really cool. Because a lot of times you see in industries like that, like I've talked to agents and managers that never acted or anything, and they just like do that. So it's good to know what the person that is working for you did and vice versa. So
for sure. I've had other PR before, and she was not in the industry. I mean, she was like an actor in the industry or talent. So, but Tanya's just 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Just because she knows exactly what we all do and what we've done, and she still does it. So it's like way different situation and much more a friend. So
sweet. Well, good luck with everything, and have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Bye. Man, wasn't Dee awesome? I love her name. Like, I didn't think about it all these times, like getting ready for this interview and doing research, but Dee Siren. And then I asked her, and her first name's Greek, and the Sirens, the lovely goddesses that would be out, or I don't know if they're goddesses, but they make the ship sink. And I don't know Greek mythology. My wife's an English teacher. She could tell you that. Maybe on a future episode, I'll have her on. But Dee, thank you for sharing your stories with me. I had a great chat. And I love that you, during the quarantine, again, you're always keeping busy. And I love that about you. Because you're always getting better and trying to sharpen your tools, which is really great. And the fact that you became a sex educator and you're able to help out folks. Again, her website's thelovesiren.com. All of her links I'll put into the episode notes if you're listening to it. If you're watching, you're on YouTube. Hi. It is in the YouTube description. Thanks, Dee. And don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.